Hello, this is Nanami. Today I'd like to talk about what you want to be ready for if you want to speed up your manifestation. This video will be a supplementary content to one of my previous videos where I talked about how to analyze your subconscious mind to figure out what's stopping your manifestation. I will put the link to that video in the description below, so if you haven't watched that yet, I encourage you to watch that one first. So, assuming that you have already watched my previous video, I will continue on here. Here's the chart that I used in that video. I explained there that in manifesting, we have to understand that there are always disadvantages and advantages to our current unwanted reality, and there are always advantages and disadvantages to our desired future. So I want to remind you that no matter what reality you are in, there comes with it its own set of pros and cons. Therefore, if you're merely dreading the current unwanted reality and daydreaming about your ideal future, you can say that that may be an unrealistic approach to realizing your so-called big dreams. To continue on with the example that I used in the other video, if your desire is to get married but you are currently single, what you want to do is to realize that you are unconsciously clinging on to the advantages of staying single and trying to avoid the disadvantages of getting married. You want to try expanding your awareness to encompass these two hidden aspects of your subconscious. First, let's think about your current reality. It's important to acknowledge that in contrast to your desire to get married, you're actually relishing your single life to some extent. You may not feel comfortable accepting this, but admit this fact just for the time being and admit that it is actually you who is unconsciously choosing your current single life so you can make the most out of it. Note that being able to look at your reality from this perspective will allow you to get your power back as the creator of your own world. So how you can approach this is by going looking for the blessings that you have been attaining from being a single, and it would be even better if you could feel the appreciation and satisfaction to your current situation, no matter how much you don't like it. If you feel that that's difficult, at least stop condemning your current life. Do not complain about where you are right now. Understand that what you're currently experiencing is something that your past self has created at a subconscious level. Therefore, denying what you've created is the same as denying your past self who created that. And any resistance towards your current reality and yourself will become the resistances that will hinder you from manifesting your dream future. If you keep denying and resisting whatever you're not satisfied with, that is what you will get to keep, because as they say, what you resist will persist. You also have to be aware that if you want to get married, you will have to let go of those benefits of being a single. Since this will require you to forgive yourself for creating your current unwanted reality and to confront the dark side of you, facing the fear of letting go of your current self may perhaps be the most daunting aspect of the manifestation process, especially for those desires that you conceive as big desires. I can say from my experience that it may be quite difficult to understand what I mean by all of this unless you truly exhibit the courage to reveal your fears. It's often the case that you're not even aware of the fact that the fears that you have been unconsciously masking were the ones that were playing out in your reality. As of me, the moment I identified my underlying fear, I find myself bursting into tears or feeling severe agony in order to let go of it, depending on what fear I had in me. But once I found that fear, I will not only feel so liberated, but will be in awe to see how beautiful this world actually is and was. Manifesting doesn't always have to be this difficult, but I believe there are times where you have to work on yourself in order to drastically change realities. So, for your current reality, you want to be prepared to let go of both the things that you have been gifted with and the fears that you have been unconsciously holding on to get the most out of those gifts. Try to focus and appreciate on what you already have and be content with yourself at this very moment, regardless of what's going on in the outer world. Next, looking into your desired future, you may need to wake up and realize that your dream isn't made up of only sunshine and rainbows. That seemingly beautiful future is also inclusive of problems and dissatisfactions, just like your current unwanted reality. If you're trying to manifest a beautiful marriage, that means you're simultaneously trying to manifest the disadvantages of that marriage too. When I say disadvantages here, I mean mostly disadvantages from the perspective of your current self. So what you want to do is to aim to become the version of you who is no longer regarding those so-called disadvantages as negative, unwanted, or fearful. Once you've developed the capacity to accept or deal with those disadvantages, that dream will sooner or later be manifested into your reality. So, how to accept those disadvantages? Well, you can logically consider those disadvantages and look at them from different perspectives to foster a more positive or neutral stance. If those disadvantages involve emotional fears, then you may want to feel through those fears beforehand until they evaporate from your body. Or otherwise, you want to be prepared to face challenging or difficult situations that are inherent to your future goal. So, manifesting isn't necessarily about manifesting only the desired components of your dream, but it's rather about manifesting simultaneously both the desired parts and the undesired parts that are intrinsic to that goal. So we want to be ready to accept those undesired aspects of our future, meaning we want to evolve ourselves into a person who has the courage and capacity to deal with challenges that will come with the initial desired parts of our dream. To give you a recent example of myself, there was a time where I was a bit anxious seeing our household income decreasing. So I analyzed my subconscious mind using this chart as I explained in my previous video, and I discovered a couple of surprising beliefs that I had never thought that they were even there. And to share with you one of them, I was in fact afraid of seeing myself becoming unhealthy and physically fat. Well, it may seem like there is no connection between financial problem and health, but for me, there was actually a link to these two. Well, I always wanted to eat healthy and to stay slender, so to avoid overeating, I had been needing an excuse to refrain from buying snacks and dining out frequently. Well, if I had an unlimited amount of money, I may find myself endlessly buying any food I want, anytime and anywhere. So essentially, I was unconsciously limiting the inflow of money as a way to justify not buying unhealthy food. I remember saying to myself, "Oh, I don't have enough money to buy that box of chocolates," and made it the money's fault so I don't have to buy sugary food. I'm sure my monies were upset to hear that, but this allowed me to avoid confronting my own weakness of not being able to control my eating habits. I was benefiting from our financial constraint at that time because I was able to rely on the excuse of not having enough money so I wouldn't be binge eating. So for me, manifesting an increase in income was also about manifesting unhealthy dietary habits. I had the belief that if I had a bunch of money, I will no longer be able to regulate my eating behavior. Upon realizing this irrational belief, I let it go by becoming the version of myself who is capable of controlling my appetite irrespective of income level. And believe it or not, after a while, our household income began to recover, and now our savings are ever more increasing. So, as you can see from my example, I have been unknowingly stopping my future goal due to the fact that I wasn't ready to be able to control myself on my own. You never know what is actually stopping you from achieving your dream, so I encourage you to analyze your subconscious too. You may find astonishing beliefs that have been influencing your life at an unconscious level, but once you become aware of those beliefs and let them go, your reality will start moving into the direction that you've been aiming for. So, to summarize my message, it's only when you embrace the advantages of your current unwanted reality and the disadvantages of your desired future that you will be able to manifest your dream. On the other hand, if you're looking at only the disadvantages of your current unwanted reality and only the advantages of your desired future, your dream may just end as a fantasy. There are always both positives and negatives to everything in this world of duality. We want to expand our awareness to be able to see both sides of the coin and enter into the state of neutrality. This state of neutrality is actually the most powerful place you can be in conscious manifesting. So if you find yourself being discontent with your present situation, go look for the blessings that are hidden behind it. And if you find yourself fantasizing about the future, you may want to think about the potential drawbacks of that future. And intentionally go look into your subconscious for any hidden weak or nasty aspects of yourself that you yourself need to fully acknowledge. Always remember, appreciation for your seemingly undesirable present and acceptance of the negative aspects of your seemingly desirable future are also important steps to manifesting. So the question is, are you ready to face the unwanted part of your future dream? So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for listening and thank you for subscribing to my channel. See you next time. Bye!